going live.
Fancy.
I always like to give it a minute to make sure that it's working, and
Makes
I
sense.
think it is. And I like to sing a little bit to make sure people are still entertained.
Oh yeah, here we go. Come on, show. Come on, here we go. Come
Uh,
on.
uh. I'm here with Jasmine. You better believe that we're gonna do it like Freestyle Love Supreme. I'm just freestyling here with you. I've got Jasmine Forsberg on the YouTube. What?
Whoa, fire! Fire! Wah, wah, wah,
Brr,
wah,
brr,
wah.
brr.
Oh my god.
Well, this was a great opening. So
Man.
thank you everyone for tuning into The Show Must Go Online. Today's guest is Jasmine Forsberg. Oh, and I did not turn off the audio to my phone, which is going to have
Reminder.
all of the comments section, which it's very helpful to have a separate device so that I can be chatting with you here on the computer, and then on the phone has all the amazing people watching at home. So please
Ooh,
comment away.
fancy.
Jasmine,
Fancy
how are you
stuff.
doing?
I'm just wonderful now that I'm here with you. Wow. That freestyle just really got me going.
I know, got that Friday energy going, like you better believe.
Oh, yes. Happy Friday. The weekend is here. Every day kind of feels the same, but that's all right. Mother's Day is coming up. We're going to celebrate all the lovely women in our life. It's amazing.
Amen to that. Yeah. Thank goodness for having like these videos and the ability to like FaceTime, that's super helpful.
Absolutely. I'm excited. I wonder, I have yet to FaceTime. Well, my grandma does not have an iPhone. So I'm curious if we'll be able to get her on Zoom. That might be an adventure. That might be a little bit of an adventure.
Let me tell you, when I FaceTime my grandma, she like doesn't understand how phones or really I should say like anything technology works. And so she'll have it up, but I can see like her eye or her forehead.
Or like your nostrils or something. Yes.
And I'm like, Grandma, just tilt it down. And she's like, What? I can't hear you. Oh man,
Oh,
I love her
grandma.
so much. She's
That's
91, so she gets an excuse.
yes, absolutely.
So, just a quick little disclaimer here for everyone watching. If you've watched before, I usually do it inside our house, but today it was just such a beautiful day, and I figured might as well do it outside in our backyard. So if it looks a little weird, I'm looking in the playback, and it actually looks pretty good. So this is a good start. Let's hope it doesn't like rain or someone doesn't start mowing the lawn.
That happened to me a couple days ago. I was trying to film voice final juries because everything was moved online, as you are well aware.
Yes.
Show must go online. I love it. And a lovely lawnmower just went off in the middle of a take, and I had to wait like a good 30 minutes for it to end. And the good lighting was like running out. So,
Oh no.
but we got it. We're all good. It's all
Yes.
good.
Yes, yes, you must prevail. I know it's always those funny moments. I used to be filming, like, like a live report or an intro to a show going on, and like a car would go by right as you hit the punchline, or just like an endless amount of things would happen, and you're like, whatever. Like this is live theater in some aspect, the
Yeah,
new version of live theater.
it is. I hope it goes back to the old version. I do, but we'll
Yes.
get there. We'll get there.
It will. So let's just start by like how has this quarantine been for you? Tell me about like what it was like being a student at Penn State. I know you took some time off to be in Love and Hate Nation, and also you were in Broadway Bounty Hunter, which we will talk all about. So just like go off.
So, I mean, in many ways, going back to school, I had taken the semester off in the fall, and so going back, I was rejuvenated, I was refreshed, I was ready to start this brand new year with so many um, I was so motivated and excited. And so when this happened, obviously it affected everyone, but it was a big bummer to have to go back home. However, I'm very fortunate to be holed up somewhere where it is nice and warm. I'm currently in Orlando, Florida, and right out there is a pool. So I've been spending a lot of time just getting some fresh air that I feel like I miss when I'm cooped up in a theater building all day long for classes. Um, but I've been spending a lot of time with my family, which has been really nice to get some unanticipated time with them, especially since this technically was going to be one of my last summers home. So it's been really nice to have this unforeseen time with them and just to get to spend some time with my dogs. They're getting old. They're 15 now. They're getting so old and gray. And I've tried to sit down and give myself a chance to write music because I love to write songs. And it's been hard. That's been a little bit difficult. It's kind of been like trying to pull teeth a little bit, but I've been giving myself a chance to do that, which sometimes I don't have the time to do while I'm at school. So in many ways, it's put things into perspective and allowed me to reassess some priorities in my life. So that's been nice, and I'm just glad that I'm able to breathe a little bit through this. And I feel for all the people, all of my friends who are in the city who can't leave their apartments right now. And I'm really, really I am wishing them the best. And I'm hoping that the entire world recovers sooner rather than later, as everybody wants. So, but it's been nice I got a bike and I've been biking a lot.
Oh, nice.
My legs kind of hurt because I went on a 20 miler this morning. So
Whoa,
it
that's
was fun.
impressive.
Thank you. Don't mind me while I drink my kombucha.
Ooh, I do love kombucha. I have my fancy sparkling water in a in a chalice.
Delightful, a chalice, so royal.
Yes, I feel like it. I like to use fancy glassware. Actually, it started with my first live chat with Joe Iconis and Lauren Marcus because, well, we love them, first of all. They're the best.
Duh.
And, sometimes it is like such a weird, crazy world right now. And if like a little like fun glass with sparkling water can bring a little bit of joy, then that's like what we can do, right? And then it led to them
Absolutely.
like finding their different glasses that were fun and funky. And it's just like I love in these live videos like what can happen, right? Like there's no script, and that's the best part.
It's live. It's theater, baby. Live
It's
theater.
theater. Uh, Actually, interesting point of what you were saying earlier. So, like, really up until maybe yesterday when I was talking to one of my friends, I felt guilty about having this nice place out here in Washington. I'm lucky to be here with my boyfriend, and we have a cute dog who's sitting right here with me. And so, I was doing the videos inside, and, there are other reasons like rain and whatnot, because we are in Washington State where it loves to rain. But I thought, she kept saying, like, no, you have a beautiful background. Like, I think the people who are cooped up would be upset that you're not taking advantage of that. And I thought that was a really interesting take of like, I was so concerned, but I was looking at it through one lens instead of like, no, I think people could use a little sunshine.
I love that. Absolutely. It's nice
Yeah.
to see you out there because everybody who I've zoomed through classes and whatnot have been in like their bedrooms, sitting
Right.
on their bed or in a dark corner of their house or something, trying to find that one quiet spot where their family won't like be barging in or something.
Totally.
So yeah,
Good.
enjoy it for sure.
Thank you. Thank you for that. So cool. Let's talk a little bit about, I guess we might as well go in like chronological order here. So tell me like your origin story. And I have to also throw in every time someone says Orlando, I always want to sing Book of Mormon, Orlando, I
I
love
love
you,
you.
Orlando.
Always. And all of those parks that are mentioned are closed right now, which is
Yes.
that's such a
SeaWorld and
oh,
Disney, putt putt, golfing.
oh my gosh. First of all, yes. Every time I say Orlando, it's always accompanied with like a House of the Mouse or the Sunshine State. Like it always has its little tag.
Yes.
So I love it here. I really do. I'm happy that I'm here and I'm happy that my family I have someplace warm. When I finally move to the city, I'll be able to be a snowbird for the holidays. So that'll be nice.
Yes.
But origin story. So like back in time, like baby jazz.
Let's go back.
Let's go back. All right, we're going back. So, um, I feel like when I was younger, my mom threw me in dance classes. I lived in Chicago, so I started ice skating, and there are several pictures on my dad's little website of his that is still up for some reason, pre-MySpace, pre-Facebook,
Oh my.
of me of me ice skating and falling because I wasn't that good. But when I moved to Orlando, that's when I started taking voice lessons. And it was only a matter of time. So I had the dance, I had the voice. It was only a matter of time before musical theater somehow just came into the mix. And
Yeah.
so I did my first production at Magic Curtain Productions. It was 101 Dalmatians. I played Penny. She was not a very big part, but honestly, I was still thriving in my
Yeah.
little spots, my black and white. It was a great time. And I fell in love, truly. And it was one of those things where I never fought my mom to go to rehearsals or anything like that. I was
Mm.
always so excited, so eager. And when and things one thing followed to another, one thing led to another, and I started working professionally at the Orlando Repertory Theater when I was 10. And so I did virtual school because rehearsals were during the day. I couldn't miss as much school as they required me to. And that was a relationship that I took all the way up until essentially when I graduated high school. That's some place that I worked. And along with the Winter Park Playhouse too. And so Central Florida really, that's where everything started to fall into place. And I knew from a very young age that this is what I loved and this was my passion, but it wasn't up until I got to school, and this past year actually in particular, it was when I really realized how I was able to, unlike now where I can't articulate it, I was able to articulate why I actually loved it so much. And that is that this past year I've had so many opportunities to give voice to characters who don't normally have a voice on stage. And so it's been so exciting to use my background as an Asian American woman along with roles that, aren't usually portrayed on stage. Like, that's something that really excites me. And it feels like low key, not even low key, like that's like a goal of mine in the future, is to be able to continue to do that. And if roles aren't being written, which I hope they are, of course, I hope some great new art comes out of this time period.
Right.
But I mean, also because I love to write, it's up to me, I already have my perspective, and my perspective is always going to be infused in everything that I write and everything that I do now. And so why not write my own show? I don't know. I'm not saying it is that easy, definitely not, but it's something that I've definitely considered. So I that definitely went from like 7 years old to like 20 within a matter of seconds. Definitely skipped a couple points there, but long story short, I mean, I knew that I wanted to do this from a very young age, and it was something that I fought for because I know that this is not the most conventional career to go down. It's not the most stable necessarily. However, it is where my heart is. And after many conversations where I told my family I didn't want to be a doctor because that's not what I was going to do, um, that it I found my love, and they saw that too, and I'm so happy where I am. I went to Penn State. I committed there, and that was something that kind of came out of the blue too. However, when I auditioned for their program, I auditioned for a few programs across the country, and a lot of the pressure was to try and stay in state because of finances and whatnot, as that makes sense.
Yes.
But when it came to Penn State, they were the only program that asked me to play one of my original songs because I slyly carried my guitar into the room to every
Oh.
audition.
Oh,
And
look, what is this doing here?
what's that? I mean, they said that. They said they saw that I brought the guitar in and they were curious about it. And I told them I love to write music. Like, it's a huge part of who I am. And they asked because I think one of the things that I love about Penn State, of the many, is that they want to get to know you as a performer, but they want to get to know you as a human, like, more
Yeah.
importantly. And because that was such a big part of me, they asked me to play a song, and I got to do that and show them a little piece of me. And so that was a really, really big reason why I felt such a draw to go there. And then that started a whole new thing, which I'm sure we'll talk about in very soon. Um, but yeah, I mean, now I'm at Penn State. I am a rising senior, and I'm very excited. Time flies. My gosh, I've been having so much fun, but it's also been a lot of work.
Yes.
And here I am.
Here you are.
Yes.
Wow, so much to unpack there because it is incredible to see someone's journey who had a passion so early and really followed that. You know, my passion, I never really knew what I wanted to do, except I knew I wanted to be in the center of something. So I didn't know if that meant be like, you know, work at MSG and like get to do like theater and sports and
Hmm.
concerts, but I knew that there was something cool about getting to speak to people, right? Like the people who you see on stage or who play. So I was originally a sports reporter, when I knew that I couldn't, when like being an athlete professionally was not going to like pan out because that's only like a limited amount of people. And, you know, people's passions change and here's my dog just chilling. He's doing a
Oh my
downward dog. He's really good at it.
God.
And oh, I have to show you. Hold on. If I just tilt this ever so slightly,
Oh my gosh. You Bubba.
he's perfect in every
Don't
way.
you love it when dogs stretch and their paws just like stretch out when they stretch? It's just so cute.
Yes.
I love them.
Oh my God. Truly love everything about him. I like, oh, I'm obsessed. Yeah, probably like, I shouldn't tell my boyfriend, but probably the best part about being out here. No, I
We'll
love
keep it
John.
between us. It's
Yeah,
fine. Hey,
exactly.
YouTube. Shh.
But yeah, like to have that passion and to have, you know, your family like be on board with that, and then to go from, you know, Chicago, Orlando, Penn State. And what I think is so cool is that Love and Hate Nation first did their performance at Penn State, right? So
Hmm.
you got to like work at that originally, and then it went to Two River Theater. So let's talk about that.
Absolutely. So that production, Love and Hate Nation, it was part of a larger musical theater commission program that we have at Penn State. And so that was the very first show that was ever written as a part of this commission project. And it was written for the class of 2017, I believe. And I remember when I visited Penn State, they were rehearsing it as part of their senior studio. And so just yesterday, actually, we met with the junior class, the now rising senior class, met with our commission writers. So it's just interesting to see,
Wow.
you know, these projects really go places. They're very much things that will be in the industry, in the field, and people will see them, and it's exciting. Um,
Look.
Nonetheless, so Love and Hate Nation, I remember when I auditioned as a little freshman, um, I went in and I sang a song on my guitar, and Joe was in the room, which is just crazy. Like it's so insane. Tony
Yeah.
nominee Joe Iconis just sitting in Penn State. Let's go! Oh, just so cool, so cool. But that process, yes, was very very exciting because that was one of my first experiences with new works, with new musical theater, and it was so cool to really have nothing to reference when you are
Mm.
starting with this new project, this brand new idea, and that was really at the time, that was the most creatively liberated I've ever felt in my entire life because every day, new script pages, every 5 minutes, a new key for a song, new line here and there, and all the professionals out there know that that's just the business. That's just what happens. But for little freshman Jazzy, that was very exciting for me and something so new, something that I had not really experienced before, and it was encouraging because Joe was in the room with us throughout essentially the entire rehearsal process,
Wow.
and Jennifer Werner, who directed, choreographed Broadway Bounty Hunter, she was the choreographer of the show of Love and Hate Nation at Penn State, and so she would come in every weekend or so. And give us this badass choreography. Oh my gosh, I felt so hardcore. It was amazing. But what was so exciting about it, too, in retrospect, is that they spoke to us as artists. They spoke to us college performers, you know, um, the same
Mm.
way as they speak to the most seasoned Tony Award nominated professional actor. And that's just a testament to the training at Penn State that we're getting. And that just excites me for all the future people who get to go through this program. Like, it's really, really a special place to be. And I'm sure other programs are very much like that too. I can't really speak on them because I don't know any other program, but it's just so exciting to see that the caliber of training that's out there for these young, passionate artists is very much paving the way toward a future of Broadway that is really like top tier, really exciting, really, really awesome stuff is coming out of these schools. And it kind of in a different tangent, but like I know my senior class is not going to have their showcase for a little bit of time. It's been pushed to September, so I'm just excited for them to be, for the world to be able to see what they can do, because it's just, there's a special group of people that is going to come out of this entire situation, and I'm excited to see where everything goes. But back to Love and Hate Nation. That was just honestly a phenomenal experience all around. And again, at the time, I felt so creatively free and stimulated and just excited. And I never would have thought that I would get to do it again. So that was just amazing to be able to tackle that role again with so much time and training in between the two processes.
Yeah.
That was just amazing. Amazing.
And like to be able to have it with a lot of the same people, and like Joe in both of those, John Simpkins, like, you know, to transfer it over, was it weird being at Two River Theater and thinking like, we did this at Penn State and now there's a whole new large audience and they're like, this is like the world premiere?
It was so exciting because people responded to it at Penn State, for sure, of course. That's why it got somewhere. But it was exciting because the demographic at Penn State, for the most part, I mean, it was a certain age that was seeing it. Whereas at Two River Theater, you had people, I don't know, I saw 10-year-olds in the audience. And then I saw the older crowd as well in the audience too. And very much they were still responding to it. And it just goes to show that like there are themes out there. There are themes in that show. There are songs in that show. The songs, my gosh, the music. But it resonates with people. And it's something too, because that show took place in 1962, so particularly those older generations really could identify with some of that aspect, or when the, oh wait, I almost said something out there.
I know, I was like, oh wait.
No, never mind, cut. Live.
Keep the secrets.
Keep the secrets. But yeah, but then you get the people too who are younger too, who have not lived in that generation. I definitely did not live in that time period, but it was just so interesting to be able to go back into that time, into a completely different mindset where our country was in a different place completely. And so it was, yeah, it was exciting to see a whole different audience really respond to it and have it resonate with a bunch of different people too.
Completely. I think one of the best parts of Joe Iconis's work, which is saying something because it's just one of my favorite things in general, just anything Joe Iconis does, I'm like, oh, I now love this very much. He's so inclusive. He's so diverse. All of his works just have so many different voices. And that, you know, I've been so lucky to interview him a bunch of times, and that he says, you know, he's able to write the female character, the diverse character, the trans character, the person from another ethnicity character, because like that's who he sees on the subway, right? And that should be such a simple thing, right? Write about the people around you, write about the world, because the world is not just white or just a man or just a straight person or just any of these things that people can fall back on. I'm trying to think of the right way to say it, but the fact that his characters are so human in every aspect makes it so much more exciting and inclusive. And then to have, you know, a trans character, to have multiple Asian American characters, it's amazing.
Absolutely. And the two big productions I've done thus far have been with him and with his guidance and whatnot, and with his words, along with Lance and Jason. But what I think is so special about that trio, but as well as just Joe on Love and Hate Nation, is that when he's writing, he really listens to the people who are telling these stories. Because of course he doesn't have the perspective of an Asian American woman who is 5 foot tall. Like that's just not that's not the reality of things. But when we're in the room, his ears are always turned on to the max, and he's listening and observing, and really he cares about what we as artists have to say and what we as humans have to say about what we're saying on stage. And so that's really, really a special quality that he and Jason and Lance possess, and I'm excited to get to work with them again in the future, hopefully, but then also I'm excited to see what other people out there do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. The idea that people actually listen to other voices, that they're not the ones who, right, I'm the Tony nominee, I have this great idea, so we should listen to it. Like, what makes people great are their abilities to work with other people and let the best idea in the room win.
Yeah, totally.
So exciting. So then let's talk a little bit about Broadway Bounty Hunter. How did that process work? I read a little bit of a previous interview you did, but I want to hear it from your voice.
That was crazy. My gosh, I smile thinking about it because all of it kind of happened a little bit more than a year ago, and it was popping up in like my memories and whatnot last month, and it was just so exciting. But so I awoke one April morning to a Facebook message from I believe it was a casting intern at Roundabout
Mm.
question mark. I could be wrong, so do not quote me on that. But it was a lovely message asking for my email, and it just came out of the blue, and I got a notice about this show. And I'd seen so many playbill like blasts and whatnot about how Broadway Bounty Hunter, Joe's show, and this was prior to his production at Barrington was prior to me meeting him and working with him, so I was not that familiar with it. But I saw so many blasts on Playbill and whatnot about how it was returning to off Broadway, and I kind of cast the idea aside because I was a student at the time, and I was like, I'm devoted to this, so this is what I'm focusing on. So I didn't really think anything of it. Then the casting notice came, and the process in the room for me, it was lovely to reunite with Jennifer because I hadn't seen her since Love and Hate Nation, and Joe, and it was just the room felt so warm, which is something that I don't know. I wish every room could feel that way, and I don't know. I mean, I haven't been to a grand amount of auditions, but I'm hoping that people. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I don't know if it'll be that way all in all in the future. So I was just like really, really excited by how gracious everyone was in the room, how warm the energy was, how welcoming it was. And that process kind of came very quickly. Audition on one day, a couple days later was the callback, and I was walking around in Central Park with my friend Tess. Love you, Tess. She's up in Montana right now.
Ooh.
And we had just gotten done eating at by Chloe, and we were walking in Central Park because I'd never been to Central Park at this point. And I was just telling her, I was like, Tess, I just really hope I hear, I mean, I don't know when it'll be, but I mean, if I'm gonna hear something, I hope it's soon, yada, yada, yada. And then all of a sudden my phone rings and it's a New York area code. And I was like, what's going on? What is this? So I answer it, and she, not knowing what this is whatsoever, she kind of just like starts recording. So like spur of the moment decision to record it. And so I have this video of me getting, my dreams coming true on film. And it was so special. It was Carrie Gardner on the phone telling me that I got the role. And after I got off the phone, tried to maintain composure as much as I could on the phone. Then I got off, and immediately I'm screaming and I'm running around Central Park because it was so exciting. That was something that, I didn't know was in my future a week prior to that point. And so it just goes to show that life can change very quickly. And that process, when I first moved to the city, that was very intimidating for a 19-year-old girl who really hadn't been to New York all that much, who knew she wanted to go there in the future, but like I mean, I didn't know the subway system, so the first 2 weeks there were me learning about what the one and the two and like those are the most basic trains,
Yeah.
the A and the one are. But I learned all about it. I shed many tears. It was very it was an eye opener for sure. And that summer was not only creatively and artistically so up here for me, but also I feel like I matured a lot and I learned a lot about
Mm,
myself and how I am on my own
yeah.
in an environment where I'm not really that familiar. But just like the casting room was when I walked in for the audition, the first day of rehearsals, that's the exact feeling that I felt. In a city where all you hear growing up is like, oh, that city eats people up. Like,
Right.
it's gonna beat you down and yada yada yada. It I didn't experience that. I really didn't. And I can say that with all honesty. The people in that
Right.
room knew that I was young. They knew that I was coming in here with not that much knowledge about what the city's actually like, and they took me under their wing and they really helped me out. However, they treated me as their equal. It wasn't like
Mm,
they were like, "Jasmine, come here, let me show you the ropes." They were like, "Hey, Jasmine, so like this is this. Now
mm.
live your life," because I was
Perfect.
very much
Yeah.
still an adult in their eyes too. And that was just so exciting meeting that cast. Oh my gosh, Annie, Annie is a force to be reckoned with. You do not cross Annie Golden. You do not.
No.
Oh my gosh, but one of the sweetest women too.
Mm.
Um, and uh, it was just it was a phenomenal experience getting to work with Brad Oscar, with Alan, Big Al as I like to call him,
Ooh,
with
I like
with
that.
both Emilys, Emily Battle, Emily Romeo. It was just incredible, absolutely incredible. Badia, Christina, all of them, Omar, Jared, all of the above, Annel, Nathan, Ian, truly just phenomenal people inside and out.
Mm.
And I learned so much from them. I swear I learned as much on stage from them as I did off.
Oh,
And I'm excited for the next time. I wish we could have had our album party together, but it was nice
yeah.
to jam. We were jamming on Zoom together, so that was fun.
That
Um,
is awesome.
yeah, just an incredible opportunity, for sure.
Yeah, we were actually Slim and we were dancing along during that album release party. It was so much fun. I'm so glad they did that on YouTube, and I'm amazed to hear that you guys had like a separate Zoom party because it's so much fun. They're just like nonstop bops to it. It is just like a blast.
It's so fun, and it also turned out incredible. Ian, the sound mixer for that. Oh my
Yes.
gosh, best in the biz, I swear. That's what John Simpkins said. That he's the best. So like,
Yes.
you have my word. You have my word.
I love it. Yeah, and everything Charlie Rosen did, it's just like incredible how you take this high action show and then you put it like the tunes in your ears and you're like, oh wow, I can remember that scene and I feel like it's here, like it's a difficult thing. I obviously like don't know the first thing about sound mixing, but I think it's amazing to have all those things. I was just listening to the album today, of course. It's a good way to kind of get in the mood for these interviews, and just listening to you guys sing young people, that was hilarious.
That scene, I swear, when we were learning that scene in the rehearsal room, I couldn't stop laughing. I could
Yes.
not stop laughing. It was too funny. So much joy within that process.
Yes. And just like I'm trying to remember some of the lines, but like, you know, like you young people say, like, I am woke. I don't know. Just like it was hilarious. And like, I understand the problems of the 21st century. Everything was just so heightened. It was great.
Always. I mean, young people, myself included, we're there's some things that you look back and it's like that meant nothing, but in the moment it is everything. Everything.
Yeah. Like, those pressures are real.
They are. Oh, they are.
Let me just see here. I'm making sure this Wi-Fi. I think the Wi-Fi is still good. Sometimes it just freezes for a second, which
Oh
is
no.
fine. Live theater. So had you heard of the musical 13?
I have heard of 13. Yes. I've
I
sung a lot from 13.
Oh, perfect. Me too. Not a singer. I mean, I guess we're all singers in our own way, but
Always.
not a professional. And 13 was one of the first shows I saw twice. I saw it in previews on Broadway. I love 13 the musical very, very much. And I was definitely thinking of that during like the young people scenes. And then I remember there was like a Twitter interaction between Joe Iconis and Jason Robert Brown. And I was like, my two worlds are colliding.
Oh my gosh. So you saw Ariana Grande before Ariana Grande was like Ariana Grande.
I know. My friend Jackie Vangan actually messaged me like a few months ago and was like, did you know that like Ariana Grande was in 13? Like we saw her back in the day. I'm like, oh my God, you're right.
It's just crazy. She's always been the top, you know. And how when I saw it when I was 13.
Yeah, exactly. And I remember like how everyone in the cast was actually young, right? Like I think everyone was between like 12 and 15, something, 12 and 17, let's just say. I thought that was amazing to cast it a young musical with young people. So I think that's pretty cool.
You don't see that much nowadays.
Right. It's a very different world we live in.
It is. But hey, I think I'll be playing young for a while, so I'm just gonna say, universe, keep doing your thing. It's
Just
fine.
keep doing it. Yes,
It's
yes.
fine.
You have a good universal look to you that you could play young, you could play older, you can play whatever you want.
Why, thank you, show. Why, thank
Anytime, anytime, Jazzy. So I saw you were in Legally Blonde the musical in at Penn State. Is that right?
I was, yes. I played
Another show I
Pilar.
love.
Such a
Yes,
fun time. That was fun too because I got to do it with so many of my gal pal best friends, and that show is all about like girl power, sticking
yes,
together, having people's backs, and that was so fun. Just doing it. I mean, naturally, when you're in a show with people, you tend to get close to people, but like having already a background because I was sophomore year, so at this point in time I already had, some really, really solid friendships with my peers around me, and getting to do a show all about that and uplifting women in a time where that was like really, really necessary, as it
yes.
always is. But that time back in 2018 or so was like, you know, necessary, and it was just so fun. That's one of
Hmm.
those shows that you just jam along to and you
Yes,
you have a good time, but it also has a great message as well. Like it's very,
right,
very important. Yeah. So much
right. Oh goodness, another show I saw. I saw it again in that same like 13-year-old time frame because my grandpa, who's a lawyer, took me for my bat mitzvah.
I love that. I love that. Great present.
It's a
Thank you,
great
grandpa.
present. I
This
was
is
like,
wonderful.
I don't need jewelry. I don't need anything. Take me to a Broadway show. I'm so happy.
I like your taste. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you. So, I want to talk a little bit more about you writing your own music and then let's hear you jam onto something.
Okay. Um, well, I started writing probably stuff that was not that good, but it was when I was 10. That's when I
Wow.
really realized like I would just sit at the piano and just tinker around, and I would play things, and this was when, so I told you prior that I still did virtual school
Mm,
pretty much. So I did virtual school for 5 years, with the exception of freshman year of high school and senior year of high school.
mm,
And so there was a lot of time when I wasn't on a contract that I just kind of had time on my hands because I was that student who loved to work ahead, and then I had like a
yeah.
3 4 month summer rather than rather
Wow.
than the average two. Um, and so during all those nights when I wouldn't have anything really to wake up for. That sounds so bad. I wouldn't have a set schedule
Mm,
necessarily in the mornings. because I was pretty self-sufficient. I would do my
Yeah.
work and I would just get it done. And I was very motivated. So I would stay up very late. The creative hours for me always came at like 12 o'clock, midnight, which for a 13-year-old wasn't like crazy late, but it was getting there, you
I
know?
feel that. I feel that.
Um, and and so I would start writing, and there were definitely times where my dad would have to yell up the stairs, Jasmine, be quiet, we're trying to sleep. Sorry, Dad, so sorry. Um, but that's a passion that never, again, just like theater, it
Yeah.
never left. And it was my own personal way of journaling. And I very much
Mm.
found, I very much admire people like Joe Iconis who can put themselves in different shoes and write about different experiences because I'm not that good at that yet. I kind of only know how to translate how I'm feeling into my
Mhm.
music. So we'll challenge ourselves. Maybe that will be my quarantine challenge for the next however long. But
Yes,
um,
who's to say?
yeah, but I started playing the guitar when I was 12, and that's kind of what I like writing on now because I don't know, there's something percussive about the way that you can play guitar that I
Yeah.
really enjoy. And it's just I write a lot about love even though no, yeah, I read a lot about love, even though I'd probably say I've never been in love so far. So it's very much living vicariously through my songs and telling
Yeah.
stories that maybe one day will happen to me. Hopefully they will.
I
But
believe.
thank you so much. But I also have kind of the Taylor Swift isms within me where I write about a lot of people who have affected me in my
Mm.
life. So maybe if one of them goes big, then I'll be able to tell that person, "Hey, this one was about you. Thanks for making me millions." I don't know.
Yes.
We'll see. Maybe it's just my little passion project, but I love it. And I do have a mic here. I used to record a lot more when I was younger, but I'm hoping that one day I can make an album with my music because
Yeah.
it isn't just a passion project. I take back what I said. It is very much something that I can see myself doing. My focus has been theater, of course, but
Hmm.
through my training, especially at school, yes, there is a way to separate the two, both musically and in terms of delivery, but I do think that a lot of what I've learned about empathy and being able to connect with people through
Yep.
music has been translated into my writing, and it's definitely gotten a lot more complex as time has gone on.
Yeah.
But the song I want to share with you today is something that I wrote summer prior to college. And it's just one of those songs that I think the music lovers out there would appreciate. And it's fun. It's a cute little number.
Well, we can't wait for that. And I'm just
Alrighty.
gonna double check. It is recording here. I always like to record the Zoom as well so I can clip this little part out and like make it its own YouTube video as well.
I love that. That's so fancy. You
I
really
try.
got this covered.
Yes.
Show must go online. I dig. All right, so this is number one, and if the sound quality's bad, just let me know. But yeah,
Oh,
so
it'll
this
be
is
perfect.
this is number one. Home is where you are. All I need's your love and my guitar. So come sing along to the song I wrote. Our love will guide the way through every note. I fancy this melody. I'm reminded of everything you do to me. The ups and downs can never leave me broken. I don't want to let this moment slip away. Slow down the tempo, I want to hang on to every word you say. You got me la la legato, heartbeat staccato, triple the feelings inside. Don't matter the charts, whoa, you're number one in my heart. Laying next to you is a sweet symphony that I never knew. Time and time again, you got me bopping along to the beat of your heart. You're my favorite song. I can't get enough of this. Got me shivering and shaking with the touch of your lips. Oh, pull me closer for the big crescendo. I don't wanna let this moment slip away. Slow down the tempo, I wanna hang on to every word you say. You got me la la legato, heartbeat staccato, triple the feelings inside. Don't matter the charts, whoa, you're number one in my heart. You got me singing la la la. You're the only one running with my heart, oh, faster than Allegro, baby, come on. Oh, got me singing la la la. You're the only one. You can set me free, oh, give me one more encore of this song. I don't wanna let this moment slip away. Slow down the tempo, I wanna hang on to every word you say. You got me la la legato, heartbeat staccato, triple the feelings inside. Don't matter the charts, whoa, you're number one in my heart. Don't matter the charts, whoa, you're number one in my heart.
Yay! Woo woo!
Thank you.
Wow, that was beautiful.
Thank you so much.
I loved every part of it. Went up and down. You hit some of those high notes that I was like, whoa. How
Thank you.
So yeah, tell me a little bit more about like that writing process, because I first of all, I just find it incredible that anyone can like write things that are just out of like nowhere from your own experiences, and then also to be playing the guitar, like, so do you write it all? You write the music and the lyrics?
That one, that one particularly started with that beginning kind of melody that was playing within the guitar. I remember I was at my grandparents' house, actually, speaking of grandma earlier.
Yes.
Um, oh, I miss them so much. Usually every May, I've been able to go visit them, so it's very
Mm,
interesting that, given the circumstances, I don't
yeah.
know when I'll be able to see them again. But I was sitting on her couch in her living room, and her my bop is his name, my grandpa, we
Nice.
call him Bop, B-O-P. He loves to play music, and so
Mhm.
whenever I'm there, I'm always playing because they, being my grandparents, they're like, play us something, Jasmine, please.
Oh,
It's so cute.
yes.
But so I was just sitting down and playing that, and that's what it started with, that melody.
Mm,
And there was something so melodic about it that I was like, I want to write about music. And so
yeah.
that's kind of where that started because, I love music, and when you love another person, perhaps there can be some comparisons made between the two. And so that's what that song was. Um, but that one, I mean, didn't necessarily come from a personal experience or anything like that. That was just something that I felt in the moment just came, and it was exciting because sometimes that happens, and then there are
Yeah.
other times like what I've been experiencing recently, where my social life has not been the most poppin'
Mm,
lately, and so for me there hasn't really been that much to write about.
mm,
So again, kind of pulling teeth while I'm trying to sit down and write stuff lately. But I just recently, so this is probably going to change the game for my music in the future, but for the longest time, so I have a Mac, and Macs are come with GarageBand. And for the longest time, because I didn't get the Mac with like the uber high storage, so
right.
when my storage was getting full, because she's actually kind of old, little girl here, she's aging. Um, but so when it would run out of space, I'd be like, Okay, so every time I would open GarageBand, because I do like to record, it had the option to download all of the loops and all of the sounds and
Oh,
stuff that
yeah.
come with it. And I would always click no because I'm like, I don't have enough space on my
There's
computer
no
to
room.
do that. And for some reason, it automatically downloaded, or maybe if one day I just clicked OK and I was like, okay, whatever, I'm not going to cancel it. And it changed the game. Show, I tell you, it changed the
Whoa.
game. I started making beats like an actual producer. I'm totally not one. Like, that is not what I'm saying. But I
So
was having
cool.
so much fun just making them and having fun with it. And so there were a couple tunes that I wrote around spring break. So right before all of this stuff really went down.
Yeah.
Um, and I was playing along with that. And so I think for a long time, how I would describe my music was like this acoustic pop style. But I'm
Hmm.
excited to see where the more technology aspect of it like takes my music in the future.
Yeah.
So there are some discoveries to be made, but I'm excited about that, and I'm glad that that happy accident occurred when I let my computer self update. You never know with this technology what it's gonna do, so.
I know. Technology is taking over, and sometimes it's good and sometimes it's not.
Mhm. Mhm.
Certainly sounds like it was good for that, though. So I'm really excited. I always like to ask, towards the end of the interviews if there's projects that we should be looking out for, but it just seems like we should be keeping an eye on your YouTube channel, right?
Yeah, yeah. I was telling you earlier that I kind of am taking a break from socials right now,
Yes,
just
smart.
to give myself a little cleanse. We all need it sometimes,
Yes.
but perhaps the the lack of distractions will allow me to put some words into music. And so I'll definitely, I mean, I have my mic, I have my guitar, that's all I need to really make something. And so, yeah, check it out for sure.
And where can people find you, whether you do go back on socials at some point, slash where should they find you on YouTube?
So, my Instagram is at Jasmine underscore Forsberg. I want to tell you what my Twitter is, but I'll send that to you, Sean,
Perfect.
because
Yeah.
I don't really use Twitter all that much. And as for YouTube, I believe if you just look up Jasmine Forsberg, my channel will come up. I don't even think I have, are usernames a thing on YouTube?
They are, but if I know that when I was looking up your music earlier, your name popped up and I just subscribed. It was very easy.
Gorgeous, gorgeous.
Yes.
Example A, everyone. Example A.
Yes. So it's so easy. Yeah. I mean, YouTube's such a great tool that I kind of also was like, oh, where should I start these interviews? Like a lot of people have been doing them on Instagram, but I like the ability to play around more on YouTube and, kind of keep everything in that nice format. And so you can find me at bwaySHO, which you're on right now. So thank you for
Yes.
tuning in. But yeah, technology, I've been finding all these new tricks and tools and editing. It's been a fun process. It's in a weird time where so much is turned off and we're not able to go to live theater. It's been really neat trying to find new ways of connecting with people and having these live interviews on through Zoom, which thank goodness for Zoom.
Thank you, Zoom. Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you. So are there any like nonprofits or organizations that you like to shout out? I always like to give a shout out to the Actors Fund and Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS because I think they're doing amazing work. Are there any others that we should keep an eye out?
1000%, the ones you'd mentioned. And I don't know if any people are viewing from Florida, but if you are, just because we were bonding over our shared dog love,
Yes.
um, as Floridians may know, as the country may know, Florida signed a bill that banned dog racing. However,
Yeah.
there were some tracks that were still open. We're planning on closing a few months from now.
Wow.
Um, but because of coronavirus, they've been forced to shut down, and it's left a lot of greyhounds without homes. And so my brother, he had sent me an article actually. So shout out Trevor for bringing this to my attention. But there is a company called Awesome Greyhound Adoptions, and you can find them at awesomegreyhoundadoptions.org. And they're trying to help find either temporary or permanent loving homes for these animals because, yes, this is affecting all of the humans, but it also
Mhm.
is also affecting other people, other creatures in our planet as well. And
Yeah.
so this particular organization gives you a crate, a leash,
Wow.
heartworm medication, like everything that you need to take care of them,
Mhm.
food, everything, all of the above. All you need to do is provide the love. And so
Oh,
my brother is considering fostering a greyhound, and I love them because I have two Italian greyhounds at home.
wow.
I don't know if my mom will necessarily approve it, but I mean, it's his life, so he can do what he wants. I support it. So,
Live your life. Adopt those dogs.
yes, yes, and I'm sure that there are other animals out there and other shelters nationwide that are experiencing a similar thing. I know I saw on the news maybe last month or so that one shelter was completely empty. So I'm hoping
Yeah.
that that is a theme that continues to grow throughout this, because everybody deserves love, everybody needs it, and so do our little puppies and kitties and animals and hamsters and guinea pigs and all of the above, even snakes, even them.
Even snakes, yes, which might terrify me, but they need love too.
They do.
But that is such a great point because like we were talking about having dogs right now. Honestly, it's like the best because they just provide like so much love. They just love you. They're you don't need to do anything except for, make sure they're fed, have water, and then you cuddle up with them. And it's like the best thing ever. Like Slim likes to, he will like specifically with his paw grab my hand and like put it under his face so that he just falls asleep on my hand. Ah,
That is
I
so
love,
cute.
I just look at him every morning. I go, I love you.
He
I
knows.
love
He
him so
knows too.
much. He does. Like, and also like in these stressful times, like I've been having a lot of anxiety attacks and just having like a dog that you have to go out and walk, right? And you have to like make sure that they're taken care of has really been helping me emotionally.
Yeah, keeping you on your toes in a good way. Because
Right?
I found during this that when everything kind of went all up in flames and started, I was like, what am I gonna do with my life? And
Yeah.
and the thing that's been helping me has been my routines and
Mm,
keeping a schedule for myself, because
right.
there are many times like I was talking about with FLVS, like if I don't have anything to do in the morning, I kind of just like I don't wake up. I just
Yeah.
stay in bed, and that's not really the best thing for me, and I'm sure a lot of people out there feel like they're needing some sort of motivation. So giving yourself a routine has that's been what's
Yes.
helping me, and having something to wake up for in the morning rather than snoozing your alarm 50 times, which is kind of what I've been doing over the past 2 weeks. So we gotta keep that moving. Yeah.
Yes. But also I'd like to say my friend Elisa, who goes by like Dr. Drama, because she's an actual like psychologist, clinical psychologist, she says sometimes you need to just like listen to yourself and what do you need from yourself right now. So sometimes that is a little extra snooze, and it is this confusing time where you want to be creative and constructive and be able to like put out new work, but also sometimes you need to take some time for yourself and you know watch a little extra Netflix for the day. So I just want to give you a little like, you're okay, whatever you're doing is okay.
Thank you. I've been watching a lot of Netflix, so I appreciate the encouragement to watch more.
Yes, yes,
I
anytime. I know I keep kind of binging these different shows. Have you seen Crazy Ex-Girlfriend? It's amazing.
I think I've watched maybe a few episodes. I think it was one of those series that I started at school,
Yeah.
but then I don't know what happened. A show happened probably, and that
Yes.
production schedule was just too much. But the shows that I have been watching,
Yes.
whoo, so I just finished Hollywood, the tears in the final
I
episode of
can't. I can't.
Hollywood. Oh my gosh, Jeremy Pope, shout
Oh,
out,
godsend.
SpongeBob. Oh my god. I actually know his little brother. Hi, Jordan. You're not.
Oh,
I
hello.
mean, if you watch this, hey Jordan, what's up? Um, but also Outer Banks. I've
Oh,
been living for that one. I think they're like right now on Netflix. Outer Banks is number one and Hollywood's number two. And just let me tell you, like, worth the watch. If you want some teen drama where stuff is happening to 16-year-olds that would really never happen realistically, but it's
right.
Netflix, so like you do what you got to do. You watch it, you binge it. I watched it in a day and a half. It's pretty
Wow.
good.
Amazing. Yes, I certainly watched Hollywood so quickly, and now like they're having these like live chats with the actors. So then I'm like, oh, I guess I might as well rewatch it with them. Might
Love
as
it.
Yeah, and Darren Chris is absurdly talented. They all are.
Oh, the
And
entire cast.
Patty
Patty.
LuPone, are you kidding me?
Patty. What? I mean,
What?
also, like, we knew this, but, like, phenomenal still.
I know. It's so good. So good. Well, this I will end it on this note because this just brought me so much joy, and maybe I'll go watch one of these shows.
Me too. Me too.
Awesome. So, thank you so much for tuning in and thank you for coming on, Jasmine. You are amazing. Always so lovely to talk with you. I could tell the first time I met you that you just had this like positive energy that I wanted to associate myself with. So, this has been really nice.
Thanks for having me, Show, and thanks everyone for watching.
Yes, awesome. So you guys can tune in to the show must go online. I have a separate playlist on my bwaySHO YouTube channel. And if you click that subscribe button, you will be notified all the times I will have amazing people on. Next week, we have Al Silber, we have Anna Villafane, Lance Rubin, who we all know and love. And on Thursday, this amazing person named Mandy Gonzalez. What? Absurd, just so cool.
Tune
And
in.
if you,
I'll be tuning in. I'll be
yes,
tuning in.
thank you. And if you want to support me, you can go to patreon.com/bwaySHO, and then you can become a Showtreon. Just a little way you can support another artist during this crazy time. If you so need to, feel that feeling. And if you would like to support just by tuning in, that's also phenomenal. So thank you all so much, and I can't wait to keep in touch, and I'll see you at the show.